Impact Wrestling review is here, and before I get started, there's something I need to say. I know no one said anything about it, but I have seen reviews from other people about what's been going on with WWE. I personally have barely looked at Raw, and I barely looked at SmackDown. I flipped it on just to see if anything's happening, and the same thing for SmackDown. And even though my Naomi is back, and she's messing with a Bayley, and I know the Usos are back, working with Roman Reigns, and I did see the part of Raw where the dog food segment happened for the... I saw the match. I saw this entirety. I saw when the Usos and Roman Reigns enjoyed themselves for whatever that was on Baron Corbin. I gotta say this. I gotta say this legitimately to anyone. Once they hear my thoughts on this review, because I'm gonna be honest here. Sacrifice is coming in about 18 days. There are several things that should not be on this show, and probably the next show after this that should be on Sacrifice, not in Mexico City, but they probably did it. You're gonna say, well, you shouldn't be watching this then if it's not that great. Look at Raw. It's doing good now. 2 weeks of decent shows from Raw mean nothing. And I'm going to say this to anyone. And I'm not trying to bash the people who work in WWE and Raw who are legitimately trying their best. But we've been down this damn path before. Every single time they take a different direction, they give us 1 week or 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks of good content, and they destroy themselves. And I'm making it very clear. Seeing Drew McIntyre, I'm happy about. Seeing the Usos, I'm happy about. Seeing Naomi, I'm happy about. But does not mean this entirety of the shows are better. So I warn you guys to think carefully about saying, well, they're on a great path now. Wait 3 months and see if they're on the great path. If they're on a great path, I'll start doing reviews of Raw. Someone remind me to start watching Raw again in 3 months if the shows get better. But what do we got here in this Impact episode? Like I said, you got several things that make no sense that should be left for Sacrifice. One thing that I understand is not meant for Sacrifice is ICU. I don't know what that is yet. I don't think anybody has. They did a little flash when the host... I don't know if you noticed, but Josh Matthews' voice was dead by the time he was doing the final match. I don't know what happened. He sounds sick. But essentially, ICU, that's a question. What is it? Now, first, we got Tessa Blanchard coming out. And she's trying to put over the situation of Ace Austin and her having a match at Sacrifice. I was alright with it. I didn't really have a problem talking about Ace Austin, probably about Sacrifice. But where's Sammy? Throughout the entire show, and I didn't miss any of it unless there was something that was missing. Wasn't there a little snippet of Sammy? Shouldn't have been a little promo, a little video, a little scene of him? He just gone. And now they got Ace Austin. I don't know if that's the wisest thing to do. Then you got Ace Austin being called out. And pretty much we get up... He's in my face. Thornstone from Reno Scum is thrown in the ring against Tessa Blanchard. And the minute, and I'm making this clear, the minute that match happened, the minute I saw how he was fighting, it looked bad. Let's put this in perspective, guys. I'm not against a woman facing a man in the ring. There's no problem with it if the story makes sense, if you book it right. But you legitimately got not one guy in the ring. You got 3 guys, 2 at ringside and 1 at the ring. And you're telling me Tessa won that freaking match. It was stupid. She should have had Tommy Dreamer by her side. She should have had Willie Mack at her side. She should have had Rhino there. She needed She needed extra people. It looked bad. Now, did they wrestle bad? No, it's not about the wrestling. It's about the believability of it. I do not believe that this is going to work. I didn't believe it when OVE went up against her because she didn't have a faction by her side. And now that you see Thornstowe, Luster the Legend, and Ace Austin at ringside, and he could not get the work done. Thornstowe could not get the work done. And Luster the Legend did nothing. He didn't touch her, nothing. Ace Austin touched her, but that makes no sense. The big guy should have annihilated her like you had with a Madman Fulton. In the end, Tommy comes out, and he sets up later in the night for a match between him and I'm going to leave that for the end of the show. Let's move on. We had Taurus versus Rhino. Now, this is the thing that gets me with Taurus. I felt that he was used. As I've said before, Impact Wrestling, and sorry for the noise, guys, Impact Wrestling notoriously does not treat the other promotion very well. Now, I understand the other promotion's getting sponsored, and they're getting some airtime in America if they're not normally seen, and usually there's always some type of decent type of decor between the two promotions, but when you, as a fan, watch this, and every single time for the last 6 years, I'll take this about 5 to 6 years, since 2015 or 2014, Impact Wrestling trying to work with other promotions for the last 5 to 6 years, as far as I'm concerned, because they have done a little bit of promotion with several, like BCW, they've done Dragon Gate, they've done AAA, they have done Border City Wrestling, they did, what was the last one, not Ring of Honor, House of Glory. A lot of times their people are not really treated well. And when I look at Taurus, there you go. I really wish that Impact would balance it better, because it wasn't. In the end, Moose comes out, wipes out both of them, and I believe he DQ'd the match. He just DQ'd it. He did. That was the end of it. I believe he hit Taurus. And then Rhino pretty much lost. But then Rhino spears him, and he's just laid out until he rolls out of the ring, which means nothing. And at the same time does mean something, because you do have the build going into Sacrifice with their match, but then they need a stip. This isn't the first time these two have met one another. They need a stipulation. That's just me. You guys tell me below. You got Michael Elgin looking in a mirror saying that he is going to show Eddie how great he is and how he wants the old Eddie back. Why? Why couldn't he just did it in front of the camera? Why did he did it in front of a mirror? It doesn't really give us anything. Look, guys, if he was going to be in front of a mirror, he should have shown frustration. He should have shown anger, hammering, he's in my face, hammering his hands on the table in front of the mirror, saying, how could you still be good? I beat you, but I had to struggle. I am the best. That was in Japan. And I should have been the one who won that match at Pro Wrestling Noah and got the title. It should be me. Something. But there was no emotion. It was just, whoop. It didn't feel like it meant anything. And they're still not talking about the Call Your Shot Cup, saying, well, this is still going for the Call Your Shot Cup. I am going to win that cup, and I am going to go and become the #1 contender. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. He should have already stated he's going after Tessa Blanchard. He should have already said it, because he's not going after Ace Austin. He's going after Tessa. Unless they're going to do a tag match with both Elgin and Eddie, that'll make no sense. But it's going to be Elgin versus Tessa. He should have already named it. That would have given us more interest. Showing you're building people for Tessa. But no, it just felt blank. Now, Dempsey Hit Squad was visited by Johnny Swinger. Johnny Swinger goes up to Muhammad Ali Shira. There in my face. He goes up to Muhammad Ali Shira and says the new tag team of the Mac and the Pack is coming for you. But before that happens, my partner has said he wants to face you in the ring to show how good he is, roughly speaking. Then he goes over to Willie, who does not want him as a partner, who does not give a damn about him other than he was in ECW, and pretty much said, look, you got a match because Shira said he wants you since me and you are now the new up-and-coming tag team of the Mac and the Pack. You're in my face again. I'm just like, what? Why? I understand Rick Swan's not there. Either he's legitimately hurt or they're writing it so he's hurt so they can do something with both of these guys. Either way, what? It's like the Odd Couple, and they're not making it interesting enough as the Odd Couple. They need more. That's just me. You guys tell me below. Okay, the first thing that pissed me the hell off, and it's the main thing. Rosemary versus Susie. You see, and I know I could mention Taya Valkyrie. I'm not going to mention Taya Valkyrie, what's going on with Taya, trying to figure a way to get around Jordan Grace. And when she was talking with Madison and Kira and Rosemary, I'm not doing that. It's not necessary. It's a repeat. But you see Rosemary lock up Father Mitchell and pretty much lay out the havoc. She chokes her out. So we get the ring. We get Rosemary in the ring. We get Susie dressed cute as hell. And you see a pink dressed Susie get into the ring, not wanting to hurt anyone. And then she gets smacked around a couple of times until you get the bloody glove smacked in the face. And then that's when the switch goes off. You can see Susie in my face. I am legitimately upset. I'm sorry, guys. If you enjoyed this segment, more power to you. To me personally, this is exactly what happened last year when they could have built something up with Rosemary, Su Yung, and Havoc. Hell, Havoc and Su Yung could have had a title match at Bound for Glory, or at least afterward. The build up for Su Yung, the build up for Havoc, and they did nothing. So I see this, and it's another missed opportunity. Why are they doing it now? You could have had her come out, and then you could have Father Mitchell stop it, and he get laid out, and Susie begins to show some signs of returning, but they don't actually have Su Yung actually destroying and beating the crap out of a Rosemary or a Havoc or anyone for that matter, because you see Father Mitchell sitting on the steps were already like 4 people laid out because of Su Yung being back. And I feel like this could have been done at the pay-per-view. No, I don't agree with it. Now, let's move on. The match of the night that also could lead and should lead into a match that could be cross-promoted between AAA and Impact. And that is TJ Perkins, TP. This was a damn good match. You see one scene in my face. I don't know if I got that many scenes or many shots. I'll let them scroll. But look, guys. TJ Perkins versus this guy in... I don't know how to describe. I'll put it to you like this. Once it comes to... I don't know how to describe this guy, honestly. Because he doesn't look like a Viking. Vikino. He doesn't look like a Viking. He doesn't act like a Viking. He acts like a guy from the Game of Thrones. He fights like a great luchador. We had 2 good guys. TJ Perkins is a great when it comes to Lucha Libre. This guy was great in Lucha Libre. TJ Perkins did a lot of submissions. This guy did a lot of submissions. This was a damn good match that should have ended in a draw. And both the guys getting so pissed off that they went to a draw, that they started beating up on each other, and then they could have had a segment in the back with TJ Perkins and said, this guy thinks he's so damn hot. I am the best. And then you could have had Vikino. He could have had a video package that easily could have said, hey, in Spanish with subtitles, doesn't matter if he speaks English, great. If he speaks Spanish, subtitles, like what they did with Pentagon G and Phoenix. He says, this guy was damn good, one of the best I ever met. I know I can beat him. I must beat him. He is not better than me. And they both build into Sacrifice. And it'll be a great match no matter who wins. But no, what do we get? We get TJ Perkins winning. Yes, he does. Now, if this didn't lead anywhere, it'd be fine. But it could lead somewhere. And then the North comes out and beats up on them both. And then you see Falaba coming out, coming from the ring, jumping into the ring, trying to protect TJ Perkins. Trying to check TJP. He's trying to protect him. And that makes you think, well, maybe they're going to have a match at Sacrifice for the titles, which makes some sense. But here's the thing. There's been almost no building between the two of TJP and Falaba going in the ring and earning the right to go after the North. I wanted those guys to actually be a full-fledged tag team, go up against whatever people you got. You can put them up against Reno Scum. You can put them up against the Debsy Hit Squad. If the Deaners are still there, you can put them up against the Deaners and just show how damn good they are. And then they could go after the North. No. If this is leading to a tag match that will lead to Sacrifice where they get their shot, it just feels like it was not baked right. They did not consider this, and they threw away a match that could have easily been something that could have been cross-promoted at Sacrifice, at least just one match for AAA and Impact, and it didn't matter who won it. You could have easily built it with several video packs for both these guys, and I just feel like it's a lost opportunity. Because it was a damn good match that I wouldn't have a problem seeing again. And this is a guy who's not a high-flying guy, likes high-flying. But they did a lot of high-flying. They did a lot of submission. They did a lot in this match to make me invested in them, which is going to lead nowhere. Okay. Katie Forbes approaches the Joey Ryan saying, I heard what you said about me wanting to touch the D. It's renowned, it's legendary. And he pretty much says, stop right there. Let's not go any further. It don't matter. And he gets laid out by RVD. And he gets laid out by Katie Forbes. And now you have this. And now supposing to have a match next week. Why? Why? Yes, they've already announced several matches for Sacrifice. But why could they not announce this match? After the controversy of what happened on Twitch when they got cut off, and they could have taken advantage of that and talked about it on Impact. No. I know these are recorded. Yes, guys, I know these are pre-recorded. But you still got Josh Matthews and you got Don Collis who do voiceovers I'm sure they did not do the voiceover for that particular situation of this. And they could have added in Twitch and done something. I just feel like it's another missed opportunity. In the end, we got two last things to talk about. And this one that really didn't lead that much anywhere. OVE versus Dr. Wagner Jr. and Daga. Great match. Well, not great match. It was a good match. In the end, OVE destroys them after they won. And Madman Fulton reigns supreme. Really didn't lead anywhere. But the last match, and that match is going to be Ace Austin versus Tommy Dreamer in a street fight. The main reason they did this, and it's obvious, they have to make Ace Austin credible. He has to be tough to go up against Tessa Blanchard. And in the end, it wasn't a bad match. It was okay. Tommy bled. But in the end, I knew he was going to lose. He had to lose because of what's going on at Sacrifice. So in the end, Ace wins. But here's the thing, guys, and just like I talked about in the very beginning of this review, you got Tessa Blanchard, who is now the main title holder, who holds the biggest title in the company. She needs credible people to go up against. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, they're building up Ace Austin going into Sacrifice. What's the problem? Here's the thing. When it came to Tessa beforehand, before she won the title, they didn't go down the Daniel Bryan route, and they definitely didn't go down the China route. They went down the woman's route, making this all about women. All about women. And yes, Tessa is an extremely talented wrestler, and I'm not taking nothing from her. I'm telling you, if they gave her the X Division title, I would not doubt it, because she's that good as a female wrestler. But you just threw the main title at her with no faction, legitimately, no faction and no underdog story. Being a woman is not an underdog story. It's not. Making this about women is not being an underdog story. An underdog story, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. If you've never been given a shot at anything, ever respected or ever believed in, this is what the underdog is. That's why Daniel Bryan got so damn over. That's why CM Punk got so damn over, even though WWE didn't push him properly. Tessa's not that. She's a Blanchard. And as talented as she is, and she's better, understand, if you put Charlotte up against Tessa, I know for a fact that Charlotte would not compare to Tessa. Tessa's the type of wrestler that can adapt. And I've said this multiple times. Charlotte is not an adaptive wrestler. She's a good wrestler, but she can never adapt. And you will see the quality of wrestling from both of them. Charlotte knows how to put herself over. Tessa knows how to put herself and the right type of person over. Even though she doesn't do it all the time, she can put someone over. So I see her easily as an X Division champion. I could see her as an underdog going after the title, not using her sexuality at all. But they are. And it's obvious that, look what happened when I said with Michael Elgin dealing with Eddie Edwards. Instead of him saying that I'm going to win the best out of 7. And then I'm going to take the Call Your Shot Cup. And I'm going after Tessa Blanchard. That would mean something. A future shot. And meaning something. Eddie Edwards saying the same thing. He's going after the World Heavyweight Champion. Why didn't he say Tessa Blanchard? They're not doing that. They're making it only about them. Filler. And instead of making it mean something, it means nothing. Because they're not making it about either an underdog or someone who's in a faction who has been getting over. Because the faction's been getting her over. So when I see this, trying to make Ace Austin credible, it did at least a little bit. I don't know what they're going to do next week for Ace Austin, because they got to do more. Because they're going to have to. They got 18 days from today. So you got like 2 more weeks, maybe 3, before you got Sacrifice. So I don't know what they're going to do with him. They're going to have to do something. Was this a good show? So-so. Because a lot of stuff should have been saved for the pay-per-view, and they did it here. It's just me. Have a good day. Have a good night. And look for my AEW review. And one last thing. And I don't normally ask. Because YouTube has been changing their system again, I would recommend that you check to see if you still subscribed. Because I have heard it. A lot of people from other channels that people have been unsubscribed. And the likes have been removed. So if you don't mind giving this a like, I never usually ask about likes or subscriptions, because it's not something I normally do, but it's obvious that a lot of my videos are not being seen. And if you guys want me to be seen more, you could do that. Peace.